Hello, dear children. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Jisha Jo. In this session, we shall continue with our discussion of the remaining questions of the Mega MCQ series. Let us move on with our discussion of the questions from the Mega MCQs Part 3. Moving on with the 51st question. Crossing over occurs during. Options are mitosis, meiosis, S phase of interphase, G2 phase of interphase. Which is the correct answer? We know crossing over is the exchange of genetic material taking place between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosomes, and crossing over is a phenomenon that is taking place during meiosis. Okay, so the correct answer is option B, meiosis. Next question. The number of hydrogen bonds formed between cytosine and guanine. So we know there are 4 nitrogen bases in a DNA molecule. They are adenine, thymine, cytosine and guanine. And what is the number of hydrogen bonds present between cytosine and guanine? That is the question. Options are 2, 3, 4 and 1. Have you guessed the answer? What is the correct answer? The number of hydrogen bonds present between cytosine and guanine is 3. Okay, 3 hydrogen bonds are present between cytosine and guanine, whereas adenine and thymine forms 2 hydrogen bonds. There are 2 hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine. Okay, so the correct answer here is cytosine forms a triple bond with guanine. Option B, 3 is the answer. Next question. A mineral element which is not absorbed as ion. Mineral nutrients are absorbed by plants either as salts or as ions. Okay, which among the following is a mineral element which is not absorbed as ion? Options are potassium, magnesium, phosphorus and calcium. Okay, so remember phosphates, nitrates and sulfates. These are mineral elements which are absorbed in the form of salts, whereas potassium, calcium, magnesium and chlorine are absorbed as ions. So which is the element which is not absorbed as ion? Correct answer is option C, phosphorus. Phosphorus is absorbed as salt, form of phosphate salt. Okay. Next question. Exosmosis occurs when a cell is placed in. Exosmosis, what is exosmosis? That is the outward diffusion of water. Okay, when does exosmosis take place in a cell? Options are pure water, B, highly concentrated sugar solution, C, pond water, D, distilled water. When does exosmosis take place? When the outer solution or the solution in which the cell is placed in is hypertonic. Hypertonic is a highly concentrated solution. So the correct answer is option B, highly concentrated sugar solution. Next question. Membrane which allows only water molecules to pass through. Options are A, freely permeable membrane, B, impermeable membrane, C, semi-permeable membrane and D, permeable membrane. Which is the correct answer? Membrane which allows only water molecules to pass through. Correct answer is option C, semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane is a membrane which allows only water molecules to pass through. Freely permeable membrane allows any molecule to pass through it, whereas impermeable membrane do not allow any molecule to pass through it. So membrane which allows only water molecules to pass through is the semi-permeable membrane, option C. Next question. The phase during mitosis when the nuclear membrane reappears. Which is the phase? Options are metaphase, prophase, telophase, anaphase. Which is the correct answer? Have you guessed the answer? Okay, remember the question is the phase during which during mitosis when the nuclear membrane reappears. Reappearance of the nuclear membrane takes place during the last phase of mitosis, that is telophase. Okay, correct answer is option C, telophase. When does the nuclear membrane disappear? That disappearance of the nuclear membrane occurs during prophase. Reappearance occurs during telophase. We have also seen that telophase is the phase which is called as the reverse of prophase. Whatever happens in telophase is just the reverse of what is happening in prophase. Okay. Next, site of photolysis. Photolysis is the splitting of water in presence of light. Site of photolysis, where does it take place? Options are granum, stroma, inner wall of chloroplast, outer wall of chloroplast. So remember, it is in the granum. So the correct answer is option A, granum. Next question. Deplasmolysis occurs when a plasmolysed cell is placed in pure water, B, concentrated sugar solution, C, concentrated salt solution, D, soil solution. When does a plasmolysed cell become deplasmolysed? When does it occur? When it is kept in pure water. The correct answer is option A, pure water. Okay, when a plasmolysed cell is placed in pure water, endosmosis takes place and the cell swells up. But such a cell cannot be called as a turgid cell, but is called as a deplasmolysed cell. Okay, and the process taking place there is deplasmolysis. Next question. Leaves appear green because options are A, chlorophyll absorbs white light, B, chlorophyll reflects blue light, C, chlorophyll absorbs green light, D, chlorophyll reflects green light. What is the correct answer? Correct answer is option D, chlorophyll reflects green light. Leaves appear green, that is because the chlorophyll pigment present in the leaf reflects the green light. That is the reason why the leaves appear green in color. Question 60. Oxygen in glucose during photosynthesis comes from which of the following? Options are option A, water, B, carbon dioxide, C, both carbon dioxide and water, and D, oxygen from the atmosphere. Which is the correct answer? Glucose, we know the formula C6H12O6, that O6 from in glucose comes from oxygen in glucose. Comes from where? Is it from water, carbon dioxide, or from both water and carbon dioxide, or is it the oxygen that is absorbed from the atmosphere? The correct answer is, hope you have got the answer. Which is the correct answer? Option B, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Next question. The upward movement of water and minerals in plants through the xylem is called. Options are A, transpiration, B, translocation, C, ascent of sap, and D, osmosis. The correct answer is option C, ascent of sap. What is translocation? Translocation is the movement of food materials through the phloem. Okay, movement of water and minerals through the xylem is called ascent of sap. Next question. Wilted lettuce leaves become crisp and firm when placed in cold water for some time because options are cold water is hypotonic and exosmosis take place, cold water is hypertonic and endosmosis takes place, cold water is hypotonic and endosmosis takes place, and the last option, option D, cold water is hypertonic and exosmosis takes place. Which is the correct answer? Wilted lettuce leaves become crisp and firm when placed in cold water for some time. What is the reason? The answer is cold water is hypotonic and endosmosis takes place. Entry of inward diffusion of water takes place, making the wilted lettuce leaves crisp and firm. So the correct answer is option C. Cold water is hypertonic and end osmosis take place. Next question. Recessive gene is the gene that expresses itself in A. Heterozygous condition, B. Heterogeneous condition, C. Homozygous condition, D. Homogeneous condition. Which is the correct answer? Recessive gene is the gene that expresses itself in homozygous condition. The correct answer is option C. Homozygous condition. Next question. In a cross between a tall plant and a dwarf plant, the F1 generation produces all tall plants. What are the possible genotypes of the parents? So, from the question we know that the F1 generation produces all tall plants. All the plants produced in the F1 generation are tall. Okay, question is to find out the genotypes of the parents. It is given a tall plant is crossed with a dwarf plant. The phenotypes of the parental plants are tall and dwarf. Okay, so what are the possible genotypes of the parents? We know dwarf is a recessive trait. Always remember, dwarfness is always expressed in the homozygous condition. Okay, so always the genotype of a dwarf plant will be homozygous. Small t, small t. There is no doubt in that. But look at the tall plant. Tall plant can have two genotypes, isn't it? Might be either homozygous, capital T, or in the heterozygous condition, capital T, small t. So the tall plant can have either capital T as the genotype or capital T small t as the genotype. But there is no doubt in the genotype of the dwarf parent. The dwarf parent, always remember the genotype is homozygous. Okay, recessive trait is always expressed in the homozygous condition. Now, since in the question it is already told that all the plants produced in the F1 generation are tall plants. So, what would be the genotype of the tall plant? In order to produce all the plants in the F1 generation, in order to produce all the plants or produce all tall plants in the F1 generation, okay, all tall plants in the F1 generation, what should be the genotype of the tall parental plant? What should be the genotype? Okay, all the plants produced in the F1 generation should be tall. So, what should be the genotype of the tall parent? That is my question. So, we know the dwarf parent, which has the genotype small t produces the gametes, all the gametes will be of one type. All the gametes will contain small t only. There is no doubt in that. All the gametes produced will contain only small t. Okay, but here we know F1 generation is tall. So, since the dwarf parent produces the gametes containing small t, this small t will be naturally present in the F1 generation, isn't it? So, if the plant has to be tall, what should come here? Capital T should come here. Then only the plant will be tall. Okay, tallness can have two genotypes, either in the homozygous condition or in the heterozygous condition. But since one of the parent is the dwarf parent, and since dwarfness is always expressed in the homozygous condition, the gametes produced by this parent, the dwarf parent, will always, or all the gametes produced will have that small t there. So naturally that small t will go to F1, isn't it? All the plants produced in the F1 generation will have that small t there because one of the parent is a dwarf parent. Okay, now our question is to find the genotype of the tall parent. The tall parent can be either capital T or capital T, small t. Okay. So in order to get all the plants in the F1 generation tall, the genotype of the tall parent should be capital T, capital T. Then only all the offsprings produced in the F1 generation will be tall. See, all the gametes produced by this parent. We have selected this as the genotype of the tall plant, isn't it? So all the gametes produced by this plant will be capital or will contain capital T. So capital T, the fusion of the two gametes, capital T and small t, we get capital T, small t. If the parent or if the genotype of the parent was capital T, small t, then two types of gametes would have been produced, isn't it? Capital T as well as small t would have been produced by the tall parent. The tall parent produces two types of gametes, would have produced two types of gametes. And the dwarf parent would produce all the gametes of one type containing only small t. So look, what are the different offsprings produced? Capital T, small t and small t will be produced. Small t, that is t, okay, small t will be produced. Now in the question, in the F1 generation, that is tall and that is dwarf. But in the question it is told the F1 generation produces all tall plants. Only tall plants are produced in the F1 generation. So the genotype of the parents will be both in the homozygous condition. So the tall plant will have the genotype capital T and dwarf plant will have the genotype small t. Hope it is clear to all of you. That is, the correct answer is option A, capital T crossed with small t. Hope there is no doubt in that. Okay. Next question. Question 65. A sudden heritable change in the gene. Options are heredity, B variation, C mutation, D inheritance. Correct answer is option C, mutation. Next question. The structure that initiates cell division in animal cells. Options are A centromere, B chromatid, C chromatin, D centrosome. The structure that initiates cell division in animal cells is centrosome. Okay, centrosomes are structures that are present only in animal cell, and these are the structures that initiate cell division by the formation of spindle fibers. Okay, so the correct answer is option D, centrosome. Genetic recombination occurs during. Options are A mitosis, B meiosis, C interphase, D resting phase. Genetic recombination occurs during which phase or during which process does genetic recombination takes place? It is thus genetic recombination which in turn leads to variation. Okay, so in which type of cell division does genetic recombination takes place? The correct answer is option B, meiosis. During meiosis, genetic recombination takes place because of the crossing over that is taking place between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosomes. So the correct answer is option B, meiosis. A plant cell may burst when. Options are A, turgor pressure exceeds wall pressure, B, wall pressure exceeds turgor pressure, C, turgor pressure becomes equal to wall pressure, and D, none of the above. We have seen in many of our previous sessions or videos what is turgor pressure, what is wall pressure and all. What is turgor pressure? The pressure exerted by the cell contents on the cell wall in a turgid cell. What is wall pressure? The pressure exerted by the cell wall on the cell contents in a turgid cell is wall pressure. Normally, turgor pressure is equal to wall pressure. Okay, but when does a cell burst? It is when the turgor pressure exceeds the wall pressure. Okay, so the correct answer is option A, turgor pressure exceeds wall pressure. Next, wooden doors get jammed during rainy season. This is due to A, osmosis, B, plasmolysis, C, imbibition, D, diffusion. Hope you have got the answer. The correct answer is option C, imbibition. We have discussed similar types of questions before. That is because wood contains cellulose. Cellulose is a hydrophilic substance, so it absorbs moisture onto its surface. That is imbibition. Okay, absorption of water molecules onto the surface of substance, that is imbibition. So here the process taking place is imbibition. Next question, the cell organelle responsible for photosynthesis: A, thylakoid, B, chlorophyll, C, chloroplast, D, stroma. Question is the cell organelle. Which is the cell organelle responsible for photosynthesis? Option C, chloroplast. That is an easy question. Next question, 71. Identify the correct definition for transpiration. A, loss of water in the form of water droplets from the aerial parts of the plant. B, loss of cell sap from the injured parts of the plant. C, loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. D, loss of water in the form of water vapor through vein endings. Which is the correct answer? Okay, the correct answer, transpiration, is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Answer, option C is the correct answer. Question 72. In a pedigree chart, an affected female is represented using a, options are A, hollow circle, B, solid circle, C, hollow square, D, solid square. So always remember, in a pedigree chart, females are represented using circles and males are represented using squares. So from what I told now, we can clearly delete or just cut off the two options. Here the question is female. So females are represented using circle. So option C and D can be cut off from that because it is an affected female. So always remember, an affected female or affected individual is always shown by a solid symbol. Solid symbol is used to represent an affected individual. Since here the individual is an affected female, it is a solid circle. Okay, a solid circle represents or is used to represent an affected female. The correct answer is option B, solid circle. Hope it is clear. Next question, if the father is a homozygous tongue roller and mother a heterozygous tongue roller, what will be the expected progeny? So here it is mentioned father is a homozygous tongue roller. So if we are taking the English alphabet R, homozygous tongue roller. Okay, so what will be the genotype of the father? Father is a homozygous tongue roller. So capital R will represent a homozygous tongue roller. Tongue rolling is a dominant trait and non-rolling is a recessive trait. So if the father is a homozygous tongue roller, the genotype of the father will be capital R. And mother is a heterozygous tongue roller. So what will be the genotype? Mother is heterozygous for tongue rolling. So genotype will be capital R, small r. Hope there is no doubt in that. What will be the expected progeny? So what are the gametes produced by the father? All the gametes produced will have capital R. Correct, no? Capital R. All the gametes produced will have capital R. But what about the mother? half of the gametes produced will contain capital R, while the other half contain small r. Hope that is also clear. Now, the gametes of one parent written on one side, and gametes of the other parent written on the other side. With the genotypes and phenotypes of the offsprings written in the subsquares. So that is the subsquare. Okay, what will be the genotype here? Capital R, correct? Capital R, capital R. What about this? Again, capital R, capital R. Okay. Then what about this? Capital R, small r. What about this? Again, capital R, small r. So from this we can understand that all the offsprings are tongue rollers. Okay, all are tongue rollers. So look at the options. Option A, all homozygous tongue rollers. That is wrong. So we can see both heterozygous tongue rollers can also be seen in the progeny, isn't it? So it's not option A. Let us have a look at all the options first. Option A, all homozygous tongue rollers. B, all heterozygous tongue rollers. C, 50% homozygous and 50% heterozygous for tongue rolling. And D, 50% tongue rollers and 50% non-rollers. So which is the correct answer? The correct answer is option C, 50% are homozygous tongue rollers. Out of the 4, 2 are homozygous tongue rollers and 2 are heterozygous tongue rollers. So 50% homozygous and 50% heterozygous for tongue rolling. Option C is the correct answer. Hope it is clear to all of you. Next question. The state of a plasmalized cell after re-entry of water. Options are turgid, B, turgidity, C, flaccidity, D, deplasmolysis. So we have discussed a similar type of question before. When a plasmalized cell is placed in water, what happens? Endosmosis takes place, re-entry of water takes place and the cell swells up. But such a cell cannot be called as a turgid cell but is called as a plasmalized cell. So here deplasmalized cell. So here the question is the state of a plasmalized cell after the re-entry of water. Correct answer is option D, deplasmalized. Okay, deplasmalized. It is not turgid but it is a deplasmalized cell. Next question. If there are 20 chromosomes in a cell, what will be the number of chromatin fibers in the nucleus during interphase? Options are 23, 46, 92, 20. Which is the correct answer? The correct answer is option D, 20. Okay, number of chromosomes is equal to the number of chromatin fibers. We know when the chromatin fibers condense and coil, they form chromosomes. So if there are 20 chromatin fibers, then the number of chromosomes is also 20. If there are 46 chromatin fibers in the nucleus during interphase, then the number of chromosomes formed will be 46. Okay, so the number of chromatin fibers is equal to the number of chromosomes. So here the answer is option D, 20. So children, with this we come to the end of our discussion. If you have any doubts regarding any of the questions which we have discussed in this session, please ask your doubts and give your suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.